I guess we are live. Just let's do a quick mic check. Alright, yeah. Let's get into it. So we had some achievements yesterday. We were able to actually clear the screen red. Let's run the example and we'll see. Yeah, we cleared the screen red. The tool to currently terminate. What the hell just happened there? I don't know. Anyways, yeah. And of course, we're not doing the thread safety things we should be. We will get to that. So yeah, we worked our way up to here. We bind our render target and we set a clear color to it and then we cleared it. That's all. So what is next? We should set the viewport, set scissor, and then we should simply draw the skybox. So it should be almost completely straightforward from here. So let's get to it. So our draw. Okay, that finds the render target there, and then we set the scissor and viewport, and that is going to be command graphics command set viewport. The signature is going to be the same, however we want the width and height, and I believe we had those. Yeah, we do have these. I'm also going to change this to why we sitting. Okay, yeah, uh, float. I'm going to construct a float rather than sorry, rather than casting them. I'm just gonna copy paste this, of course. All right, that does it. Same with that, and here we go again. Set scissor. Same goes with that. Now let's see. Let's see. I guess the only thing that has to be done now is just to draw the skybox. Finally, we are drawing the skybox. It will not give you time query, time query. You're not querying the timestamp or whatever. You just wanna do this. Find the pipeline. We had a pipeline. Very well pipeline. Yes, we had a pipeline. We just yeah, this is pipeline. Okay. Let's add a memory variable. Render type pipeline handle Skybox pipeline. Alright, we have our Skybox pipeline. We're going to set a value to it here, and then we're going to use it graphics command that binds pipeline, and we're gonna bind our pipeline here. We do. There goes our pipeline. Reference type of pipeline reference. Why is this? Okay, I guess we have to do some interface changes. Yeah, we need some interface changes here. So this is going to be pipeline handle. And then that is going to be descriptor set handle. Since all that the user knows is just these are handles, and somehow magically get it from this handle. So yeah, that also may cause problems later on. Alright. Pipeline handle. Let's change our names accordingly. Descriptor set handle. Alright. I guess that is it. Okay. I'm okay with that. Let's see the rest here. Command bind descriptor set. We're going to bind our descriptor set here. It's going to get a descriptor set handle, which I believe we had here. Did we have it here or somewhere else? I believe we updated it somewhere. I don't know where, but we did update our descriptor sets. Where did we update our descriptor set? Where did we update our descriptor sets? Come on. Alright, we updated here, which is on initialization. And 0. That needs to become a member. However, I think we're updating this in wrong places. Okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe this is a correct place to update this actually. Descriptor set handle. Okay, that works. And then we're going to update our uniform descriptor set. I believe we did that update somewhere here. I have no clue where it was. I don't know. I don't know. I think we're doing something wrong. I can't figure out what. We're not. I believe we're not updating the uniform buffer descriptor sets properly. At least that is. Let's just clear it for now and see what happens. I'm not sure how successful I've been in in actually simplifying the code. So I the current design is not good at all because I've learned a lot while implementing it. So there are some updates that should happen before this is actually ready to be actually used. So yeah, we have that. So it shouldn't be the perfect design here, so the code wouldn't be perfect either. So that is indeed the case. Bind vertex buffer. Okay, let's see what the interface of the bind vertex buffers is. It's just a bunch of vertex buffers. And you might ask what vertex buffer is, and that is here. You need a user declaration for that. Something like this one. So you know I did not intend to do so. Let's put this in a scope. I don't want my usings to leak. And this is going to be vertex buffer. That is going to be that. I believe there was a vertex buffer here. Descriptor. Okay. I'm happy with that, but alright, here is what a vertex buffer is. So first we want to make an ESCL array of our vertex buffers, which is going to be like so. We have one vertex buffer, so the length would be 1. Then we would want to construct one. And let's see what it takes. So let's change that. That is going to be buffer ref. It should be buffer pointer, I believe, but yeah, for now let's keep it that way. The reason for that is that we haven't actually uh we haven't actually let's see what the problem here is. We haven't actually abstracted out the resource loader, so that buffer is part of the resource loader, so I have nothing to do there. No instance of constructed ESTL blah blah. Okay, yeah. We need to initialize that. That's correct. Let's see what our vertex buffer is. That is our vertex buffer. Vertex buffer descriptor. Blah blah. Skybox vertex buffer. I believe that is the thing we are looking for. Let's see what our strides and stuff are. Our stride is Skybox's stride is that. So first is the stride, then is the offset. So that is this and 0. Let's try this. Okay, it's not compiled. Cannot convert from vertex buffer descriptor to ESTL. Okay, yeah. Should have been an accurate initialization rather than normal constructor call. Yet is not a member of command. What was that? You are correct. This should be a dot there. Warning. Data. This should be static cast into unit 32. I don't get it, but what is the problem? Function does not take 4 arguments, then what does it take? Oh yeah, the first is command. We totally forgot about that. Command footer.get, and then the buffer count and the buffers. Warning dash no object file generated. What is this? Cannot convert from. Oh yeah, you are correct, sir, but who is asking you to do so? Oh, so they're. Huh? Why is that? Why is the type of the offset UN64s? Ah, this code just keeps getting better and better. Let's make this. Where am I doing? And restart. So as you can see, on the draw call, the offset is actually UN32. However, here it was UN64. So the lack of consistency is just mind-boggling here. I don't know if I actually should report these to the maintainers. I don't think they actually care. Like, if I go ahead and report this, they would be like, so what? It works. We'll fix it when we have a bug. I don't know what the reason for not using size T is actually. I think that the opinion there is just that these are academic C++ things. We don't want to do academic. We are practitioners. We just want C++ to work, and it does. So who cares if that is, if we're not consistent with ourselves? I think that is the case here. Thankfully, we are not drawing anything. Now the worst part begins, I guess. This is going to be to debug this. Let's remove this so we can just tell the find function not to clear anything. Okay, so it's not clear. But we are not drawing either. Why are we not drawing? What is going wrong here? So one thing that I believe is the case is that we are not actually I believe you're not buying those uniform buffers, and that is what's causing the problem here. Let's get to the example here. Let's see. I believe we're not doing this part, are we? Sorry, I got disconnected. I don't know why. I'm back on. So yeah, let's see what happens to our uh, uniform buffers here. So we get this from a root source. Here. It starts its lifetime here? That is weird. No, that is correct. That is correct. Okay. This is a part of the code we copied. So we're getting a resource here. We're allocating a resource from the GPU where our Skybox is going to reside. Skybox uniform buffer is going to reside. And then we are updating those descriptors. So we have this code that is definitely wrong. That is the case there. Let's match this code with what we had in the actual example here. So I'm gonna get that off the screen. And where is that now? Okay, let's match. I believe the problem is the uniform buffers here. So let's match how we actually work with our uniform buffers. So we have a copy pasted code here. That is this part. So what it does is it simply flag them size and memory usage and descriptor. Okay, this should be the same. So what it does is just allocating these resources from the resource loader. Then kind of skip this code to the load here. At the load we are, yeah, at the load, which is here, we are, what are we doing here? Pipeline descriptor, no one cares about those. Are we setting the call mode? Rasterizer descriptor, where is our rasterizer descriptor? Pipeline settings. That is our rasterizer descriptor right there. Alright, yeah, we're doing that fine. So let's see. Our load is a bit different. What we do at our load here. So depth buffer format is blah blah. We initialize our swap chain, which does these two, this one. Then we add a render target, which is that add depth buffer, and then rasterizer, blah blah. We're doing the pipeline here. We go ahead and add our pipeline. This vertex layout, where is that used? Okay, so that is our vertex layout there. And then we add pipeline. So we're not doing anything about our vertex buffers, our uniform buffers at load. Let's see the update. So the update is only updating those values. We fixed the bug. Let's try this. I think that is the only bug we had. Yeah, that was indeed the only bug we had. So that is fixed. So let's clean up some stuff here. I figured out that we don't need a bunch of stuff here. And then we will go ahead and see what we are actually doing wrong about our inputs, because I think we're not doing this part correctly. Because I actually cannot rotate this. So there definitely is a problem there. Let's clean the code a bit. We'll get back to this. Sorry about that. My throat is really scratchy. So we're half an hour in so far. Okay, the part that I want to clean up is this. No, not this. Then what? Which one was it? So, I believe we don't need this. So, this part of the code should be gone. Okay, gone with that. Uniform descriptor set. So this uniform descriptor set is used like so. So what we were doing was that we were allocating it for three uniform descriptor sets, and then half of that was for the Skybox, and the other half was for the spheres that was drawn rendered in the original example. So with us not actually drawing the not actually drawing the spheres, we would only need half of it. So this is also for the spheres. We're going to mark that and see if there are any remains of that. There aren't. Okay, so we've got this to render. Now what we need to do is to actually figure out why our input system is not working. That should be simple though. Like, I am clicking the hell out of this. I'm trying to move this, but it isn't moving. So let's stop that, and let's also one way. So I'm expecting this camera controller to tell me that we have actually rotated. Look at set motion parameters, blah blah. If not input system, unmove, app UI, rotate. I don't know what this virtual joystick is really. Maybe that is what they call that. I don't know. Okay, let's try this. So I believe this would cause the camera to rotate. Let's do that. Let's put this in our update. Let's collapse this. We need to really clean up our code. It is not our code, thankfully. I was like, when did our code get so big? Alright, there's our update. So let's take code size comparison. So this example is 800 lines of code, and my renderer is about 488, and my example is about 329. So that's almost the same size. Almost the same size. We can actually get it smaller. We will. Don't worry about that. Proper abstractions will fix everything. And for what we wanted to do, we want to update this. We want to just rotate our camera, which I believe this does. I think it doesn't rotate. Is it? Maybe I might divide it by too large of a value. Or maybe it is definitely is not rotating. Let's put a 1 here. Let's see what that does. Okay, so it does definitely rotate it, but let's reduce this value. Huh? I guess then that the delta time is actually in seconds maybe. Alright, we are rotating our camera. That is okay, I guess. Let's see. So that means our update is working properly, and almost every bit of the code is working properly. And we didn't thankfully we didn't run into anything, any complicated bugs here. So I guess the path forward here is to firstly I would say we would like to firstly do some cleanup on the example code so that we can actually find out what is happening in this code. And then we could go for redesign. We could go for redesign on the engine. Also, I think this is almost time we actually changed. We actually copied our shader from the old example to this. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do here. I'm gonna copy paste those shaders here, and then what else? We are loading some images, which I think is shared, so that wouldn't be a problem. So it's shaders, blah blah. That's that. For now, I'm going to just support D3012 until we clean up this code, and right before the I will support the rest after cleanup, after the redesign. I'm just trying to replicate the same exact uh, project structure there, which I guess I've been successful at. Anyways, let's go to our station here. We need to change this. So the program directory is going to change to, I'm not gonna type that because I'm gonna copy paste it. So here, let's see if that compiles. That does. And works. So I'm going to remove these actually. Yeah. We are not drawing any planets anymore. Project view, light position. Let's remove those as well. We're not doing any light positions either. Let's go to our shader here. We have a shader of our own, so we can actually modify it. Basic node, Skybox, fragments, Skybox Vertex. Those will be gone, and that would be it. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And we have 70 minutes to go, so let's try this and do all the debugging if there's any. And that works just fine. Let's make sure that these are actually the shaders we're using. So I'm gonna do this, dim half of it. Maybe we aren't. Maybe we aren't using our new shaders, but where else have you been passing the shader? I think we aren't. Let's get to our shader code here. Let's do this everywhere. Okay, we're using this. We are definitely using our new shader. It dimmed it. So let's see that. I guess we would be okay. Yeah, you can see that we are actually using our own shader. Let's remove all that, all the changes. There we go. Okay, we have got a working example here. I don't know why it is multiplying by 9 here. I guess it's just scaling the Skybox. I don't know. Anyways, our example works just fine here. So I guess this is where we say goodbye to old examples and we actually start just clearing out our own code. So these are the resource loaders parts which we have not abstracted out, and I am not going to abstract out anytime soon. That is because I already don't have this code cleared out, and I don't have a proper design for the renderer itself. I'm gonna finish the design on the renderer, and then we would be able to start thinking about actually doing some actually doing some designs on the resource loader part. So let's fix this code. So there are many to-dos here. So we fix this by providing the shader handler. That would be render type shader handler. That cons could be removed now. This is sampler handler. That cons. Okay, yes, not handler. Sampler handle here. We're going to remove these printable casts. Alright. That is our root signature, which is just setting some of the constant parameters of our shader. So we have a parameter sampler 0 in our shader. That is our fragment shader. It is here. We have, this is not our shader anymore. Let's see. There we go. What? What happens here? Oopsie doo, we also have this here. No need for that. Neither any need for that anymore. Right texture sample. Yeah, that is sampler 0 there. So this root signature is just setting that value there. this needs a proper interface anyways. Like no matter what we do, this is the type of the Forge engine, and using that is itself an implementation lead. So let's do it. To do. Alright. Then we have this root signature here, add root signature, and then this I don't really understand. Like, why are we using the root signature in the descriptor set? That I really cannot figure out. Let's see the code. This is add descriptor set descriptor, and root signature. What are we doing with this root signature? And cumulative view descriptor count, sample descriptor count. This is just a lot of nonsense. I will need to just ask this. This has bugging me since the day one. I have no clue what they're doing here. Why would you pass the root signature directly to the descriptor set? We're actually using this twice. I'm using this descriptor set and uniform descriptor set just to update my textures and uniform buffers. However, this is a constant buffer. I don't need to modify this. I don't know what's going on here. We'll get to that. I'll just ask it from them. Anyway, this is our Skybox size. So let's make this const expr. And then size of float. That is just dumb. There goes that. Let's get rid of these nulls. Like some of these issues are just they just don't want to do it. It's not like it would cost performance, it would cost readability. Like what is the difference of putting a null putter there? Just put a null putter. But they just don't want to do it. Set camera motion parameter. What is the motion parameter? Look, look at this. You are constructing a zero there. Do it like this. These are not being modified, so these are actually const. Let's make them constants. Camera position is not being used at all. Is it? It is being used. Let's get rid of this thumb. dumb code style. That is just awful. That would be alright if you had if you had something to actually make sure your code style is fine. A formatter maybe. There's no formatters here. So here we're just setting the fixtures. So that has been updated only once. So I don't care about this part. That is just constructing our renderer. And then we are going to load in our textures. Then it is sky shader. Reloading shader, the sampler there. Here, getting a root signature for that sampler, and then this. Why all of a sudden are we loading our Skybox here? Like, who cares about this? Who really? No one really cares about those, man. I'm going to put this part of the code simply at the end here. No one wanna know about this. Like, this has no dependency to the rest of the code, neither do the rest of the code have dependency to this. So yeah, let's also put these somewhere else. So the issue I have with this code at the moment is that it is scattered. It is scattered all over the place. Like, why could we not do this at the beginning? Like here, why wouldn't we be able to do this? That is better closer to that. I'm just trying to reorder the code so that actually related code is near each other. Skybox shader descriptor. I'm just trying to get the related code close to each other so we can actually understand the code. Sampler handle here, there. Okay, add sampler. There we add the sampler. Here we set the sampler to the root signature, and then we add the root signature here, and then we add two descriptor sets, which are not necessarily needed here, so we could actually texture root signature. This is not used anywhere. None of these are actually used anywhere. However, this is used somewhere. So I'm gonna move these here close to this one. So this part, let's take this here. Okay. Now you could say the first part is just initializing the texture descriptor set, and the rest is initializing the uniform buffer descriptor set. However, I'm going to use synchronization tokens for this. So the main code was doing wait for our resources to load. I'm going to do that here before we actually finish our initialization. We're going to wait for all the resources to load. However, before that, we need to actually use a synchronization token. Why not? Sync token textures loaded. I'm going to pass that there as a pointer, and then we're going to wait on it. Where we're going to actually use these textures, that would be here. Wait for token. That is that. And a pointer to it, of course. Okay, then we wait for our textures to load, then we use our textures, and here we're going to wait for our uniform buffers to load and wait for our uniform buffers. So I'm going to move this Skybox blah blah shader load descriptor root signature. So let's scope these. So here we're just getting our root signature done. Let's say this here does the root signature and sampler. That is doing our shader. This here does uniform buffer. And our textures are being done here. So let's scope that. That is our textures right there, and this is doing the p-textures, blah blah, construct texture, descriptor data. Where is this used? This is used there. This is coming in here. Alright, and this is loading our uniform buffer descriptor, uniform buffers. It is going to come here. We're going to pass it a synchronization token. Then we're going to pass it to this. Then we're going to wait on that. Okay. Gonna scope that. And then we wait for everything to load. I'm happy with that, I believe. Let's see if it actually works. And we are over time, 8 minutes. It works well, as it should. And there goes our code. Let's rename this form buffer descriptor. I'm happy with that. These could actually be member functions. Okay. I'm getting the hang of the code now. That is alright. Let's see what we actually do here. So I believe this end, yeah, this end update resource is just making sure that this update happens before we actually continue. Okay. And this is buggy here. This is a bug here. This is damn sure a bug. So this void pointer does not have any alignments, and here I'm setting an aligned object to it. So this is a bug. It may not show up now, but it will show up sometime later. And it will be a hell to debug. But again, I still don't think that the Forge engine maintainers do really care. Okay, on that note, it is time to end. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.